folks. Sarcasm Speaks. I'm Jared here with Bob. Audio should be perfect now. We finally have this whole fucking thing figured out. It just took us 20 minutes.
It took us every bit of 20 minutes to figure that out.
Yep. Turns out I did not turn the switch on my little phantom power thing because I got a different way to set up the condenser mic. So now I'm free and I don't have to sit back. Like if you're on the YouTube show, you can see I still have this thing here because I tried this as a backup. I don't have to sit here holding it, trying to, do this whole thing.
And anyone who listened to the last episode knew that I had some issues with my microphone, the new one I bought.
Yes.
And how we couldn't, I don't even remember. What was the problem on the tablet? Was it just not coming through?
Yeah, like the tablet wouldn't use like an external microphone.
Well, it does. So it was Zoom.
For Zoom.
Zoom wouldn't, because I could use the mic through a voice recorder, but yeah, no. So yeah, I'm on a laptop, so I can use the microphone, and we're sitting here, and I'm like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. So I'm like testing the audio on my side, testing the speakers, because I got a headphone jack on this mic where I got the headphones plugged in, and I'm like, nope, I can hear it. I tested, it's fine. Then I pull the headphones out. I switch it back to the computer. I can hear you through the computer. Oh, I'm sorry. I can hear the test through the computer. I can hear myself in the headphones, and I can't hear you whatsoever. So then it's like, we got you on the phone. We got pull the tablet up. And then, because the tablet's what we've been using. So I'm like, if I can't hear you through the tablet, then something's fucked on your side.
Right.
And I think even had you grab the old mic, like plug that shit in. Yep. You just need to hit the on switch on your new fancy fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't know. This little box, the Behringer box. I think it's just called like a phantom power thing. I don't know. Whatever. I'm an idiot. I mean, there's no surprise there. It's the first time we're using it too. So it was one of those like, oh shit, you just don't think to like turn it on, I guess, because it's new.
We suck.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting down here. I got fucking Michaela. I got a dog barking at us. Michaela's trying to help. I'm trying to put on Red Zone so I can watch the end of these games. Batteries fucking die, and I'm just like, man, I can't do anything fucking right. Like nothing.
Yeah.
Like never can do anything right.
And these two games are ending pretty wild too. It's
oh fuck, this game's tied.
Yeah, Cincinnati, San Francisco. And then Buffalo's trying to mount a comeback. They just hit the backdoor cover in 3.5. There's still like 3 minutes left in that game, though. So we'll see. I'm going to lose my fantasy matchup this week against the guy. So right now we're both tied for first place in my work league. And we're playing each other. And this is the last week of the regular season. So whoever wins this matchup is going to be the number one seed. And I'm going to lose.
Any money for number one?
Yeah. You just get your money back. It's just $50.
I mean,
so the number one. So I just
you get a home field advantage for number one.
1 and 2 get a bye.
Oh, so okay.
The 1 and 2 seeds get a bye. So I'm still going to get the bye. I'm going to be the 2 seed.
And this is the last week of the regular season.
Yeah, I'm going to lose out on guaranteeing to break even on the season at least. I think we did. So there's 10 people in the league. It's $50 a person. So we did $50 to whoever the number one seed is at the end of the season, right? Because we were like, you win the regular season, you can get your money back. And then the second place person gets $50, so you get your money back if you make it to the championship and lose. And then the winner just gets the rest, which is $400. So
we got overtime in San Francisco, Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, shit.
It's gonna stay under too. Cunty Chris was all over the over.
Oh, I took the under in that game.
You're gonna win.
Yeah, Cincinnati. Yeah, under 48.5.
Yep, you're gonna win. Actually, no, you could
No.
lose.
No, I could lose. There
Because
could
they
be
could kick a field goal and
2
then a pick
field
six.
goals.
No, a field goal. Oh yeah, there could be 3 field goals.
Yep.
Or there could be a field goal and a pick six going the other way.
Yep.
Or
yeah, it's probably what's going to happen.
Or a touchdown, a 2-pointer going the other way, and then that team gets the ball and goes down and kicks 3. That would be sick.
Well, I don't think you can.
So if
You
you
can't
if
get
you
a touchdown and if you get a touchdown in overtime, the
oh,
game's
that's
over.
right. It's game's over. It's not the first possession's only the field goal.
Yeah.
See, I'm getting all sorts of worked up with all these
College.
permutations that can't happen.
Yeah.
Touchdown ends it. Okay. So yeah, you'd have to field goal, pick six going the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. Or 3 field goals.
Yep. You could have 3 field goals too.
Yep.
All right. We'll sweat that out live.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be great. So the other thing too is so the guy I'm going against in fantasy has Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen had nine fantasy points until like the fourth quarter of this game,
7 minutes ago.
And now he has 35.
Yep.
So pretty much was the nail in the coffin. I mean, I have Chris Godwin and Jamar Chase, Javonte Williams, but unfortunately my quarterback this week was Derek Carr, who sucked a giant bag of dicks. My regular quarterback is Jalen Hurts, but he's on a bye this week. So fuck me, right?
That was pretty good, man. I think he put a pretty good effort forth.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, they met on the Chiefs logo.
Yeah,
before the game.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, and they
just like my idea to
kicked.
fucking keep Zeke in there because I have Zeke too, and he got 9 points, and I have both running backs for the Denver Broncos. I have Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. I traded for one and I got the other one on the waiver wire early in the season. And I only started Javonte Williams. And I was like, oh no, I got to run with Zeke, even though I knew Washington was going to be able to stop the run game. Zeke got 9, Melvin Gordon got 25 on my bench, and Javonte Williams had 21. So just piss poor general management on the team, which cost me the number 1
coaching.
seed. Yeah, real bad coaching.
You're about as good as Urban Meyer right now.
Seriously. So I deserve the loss this week. What else do we have going on? What's like really happening? We've got some interesting news. So the UAE, right, the United Arab Emirates, just announced that they are going to be switching to a 4.5-day work week. So currently in the UAE, they work from, I think it's Sunday to Thursday, and their weekend, like as a nation, is Friday, Saturday. So what they're going to do is switch from Sunday to Thursday full time to Monday to Friday, with only working until noon on Friday. So like their stock standard, like weekly hours or whatever, is Monday to Thursday and then a half day on Friday. That's like their new like thing. So literally in the same, like 3 days later. So UAE announces this whole thing. 3 days later, Congress introduces a bill that says they want to switch the United States to a 4-day work week. So we would only work Monday through Thursday, because we can't be one upped by the UAE.
Hey, use that word "we" fucking carefully.
Well, yeah, no, I know.
Because one of we will be completely unaffected by the schedule change.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Proceed.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find the actual article. Yeah. Here we go. So yeah, they're shifting from Sunday to Thursday to Monday to Friday, and weekends will begin at noon on Fridays. So literally this week, Like I said, Congress introduced a bill to switch the United States work week to Monday to Thursday. So I don't know. I think that's interesting.
Do you have details on that? Like, do you know what? So, because right now we have a 5-day work week, 40 hours a week. If we're talking the average, normal, whatever. I know some people work 37 and a half.
Yeah.
Some
like
people
technically
get,
I work 37 and a half.
And then because you get a half hour, quote unquote, lunch. Like
I don't get any lunch. Like
I'm
I don't
saying,
get.
Okay. So because we're talking about a schedule, or we're talking about a general schedule that not a lot of people do. Or I'm sorry, I'll rephrase, that many people don't do, because like even when we worked at Bridgewater, the full-time people were theoretically supposed to work 9 to 5 with a half-hour lunch. That's why they got paid for 37 and a half.
Right.
Now, anyone who works anywhere knows that it's very uncommon to actually start your day at 9, end your day at 5 every day, Monday through Friday, all the time.
Right.
Like it's not real. It's not realistic. Like
unless you're like a legitimate like white collar job.
Yeah, but even then, like some of these white collar jobs, you would talk like insurance. Well, insurance a little bit.
No, no, you're right. You're right. My no wasn't for that. Sorry.
Yeah.
My no was, I was thinking more of like if you're in like customer service or like human resources, like
those are the
stuff.
only job, like those are the only things now where, because I'm like even thinking like what's like a run of the mill white collar type thing. It's like insurance, accounting, finance, like.
Yeah, I would say accounting and finance. Yeah.
But
insurance, no. A lot of things were fucked up now because of the ability to work from home, right? So,
but even before, because you have to think anyone that provides a service to anyone else can't fit this model. Like you got to be available when they're available. So like our accountant often cancels with me because one of his clients has to see him at 7 a.m. Well, that's outside of 9 to 5.
Right.
But that's when the client is available. So it's like shit like that. But
yeah,
I think like HR, like a good example, better examples are like corporate customer service.
Yep.
HR department.
Yeah.
Offices, like in a way that aren't providing a direct service.
Right. Yeah, something that's more like almost like an internal service, I would say. Like into the company.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Basically. Like, I had to call or I ordered 2 wedges on Cyber Monday, and they came in the other day, and they were just the wrong like they sent me someone else's clubs. Like it's not Jesus. That like they didn't fuck up my order. They sent me the wrong 2 golf clubs.
Right.
It was not left-handed, wrong shaft, wrong grip, wrong model. Like they were a build for someone else.
Right.
So I just skipped a step, because instead of just calling, I just sent them an email like that night.
Yeah.
And I'm like waiting. I'm like, man, they're quick. Like that. I've talked to the CEO before. Like they're quick to answer. I'm like, fuck, let me see, like, when is their customer service?
Yeah.
9 to 4 Central Time. I'm like,
yeah.
So what do you think rolled in at about 10:08 our time?
Yeah.
The email from them.
Right.
So it's like, oh shit, you always forget like that type of stuff.
Yeah. The time change stuff really fucks with you too. Like there was one of the jobs that I applied for that I didn't realize until after I applied for it, and now I haven't heard from them, so it's been like a week too. But it's like online coaching, like fitness coaching, health. It's like an online health and wellness coach essentially for this just online based company. And the hours are 8 to 4, but it says Pacific time. So theoretically, like if I did get the job, I would be working from 11 to 7 our time. because obviously, time change. But this shortened work week I have right here is the Congressional Progressive Caucus on Tuesday endorsed Representative Mark Takano's 32-hour work week act, which would shorten the work week in the United States from 5 to 4 days. It sounds like it lengthens the day, though, because it says it's a 32-hour work week. So, well, no, I guess that's you're going from 40 to 32, because I was thinking like 37 and a half to 32. And I'm like, that's only 5.5 hours in one day. So
Yeah,
are
you've
you
only
adding?
cut
Yeah, no. I know. I was wrong.
32.
So that's 40 to 32. That's one day. It's an 8-hour day. I was thinking it in my terms because I work 37 and a half hours in a week, not the 40. So the bill calls for an update to the Fair Labor Standards Act signed under President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which established a minimum wage and overtime pay. Takano says his plan prioritizes productivity, fair pay, and improved quality of life for employees. The model has been successful in past trials, so other countries have already done this. Iceland tested a 4-day work week and found no drop in productivity. And however, they did see a drop in workers' burnout and stress. In a different trial by Microsoft in Japan, showed increased productivity when employees were given 3 days off. So you have two different studies. You have one study based in Iceland, one study based in Japan. The study in Iceland said there's zero drop in productivity, but there is a drop in burnout and stress. And then Japan says there's actually increased productivity. And I'm assuming they probably didn't measure stress levels. So, those are two relatively small countries, right? Iceland and Japan don't really have a ton of people. They also don't produce a ton either, right? I don't know. This is weird to me. We don't get much from Iceland, and we don't get much from Japan either. What does
we
Japan?
don't get stuff from Japan?
We don't get a lot of stuff.
I mean, we get cars from Japan.
Don't
we get like computers and shit, or is that still China?
That's China. That's all China. Now, I'm not saying it's 100%.
No,
China,
I mean is Sony a Japanese company?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like if I want to nitpick, I could do it, but
right.
We get a lot of cars though, don't we?
Not anymore. So after the government, no, not the government. After the economy blew up in 2008 and everything was fucked, the US was like, all right, well, we kind of should probably do something about this whole thing. So what they started doing was bringing labor for automobiles back to this country. So the parts and everything are made in Japan, right? So the chassis and the fucking computers and all that shit. But the cars are actually assembled and built in the United States. So Toyota has a massive plant in Tennessee or Texas, one of those places.
I don't know, one of the some rural.
I think maybe it's Texas. Because I think it's now that I say it, I think it's Nissan because of the Nissan Stadium is where the Titans play.
Because
I know for a fact there is a massive car manufacturing plant in Tennessee. So, putting my fucking super sleuth cap on, doing some math here, I would say it's probably a Nissan factory if they're the ones that sponsor there.
Toyota has manufacturing plants in Indiana, Kentucky, Texas, and Mississippi.
Yeah, so is Texas. So they
also have, dude, they might have fucking manufacturing plants everywhere. Buffalo, West Virginia, Alabama, Indiana.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me. I don't know where the main one is or HQ, but
yeah, maybe Indiana.
Who knows? All those places have tons of land.
Yeah.
None of them are being built in fucking Boston. I'll tell you that much.
No. So that's the thing, right? Like all those Japanese cars are actually built in the United States now. So like I said, we don't get a ton from Japan. We don't get a ton from Iceland, or like, I also don't know what their exports look like. Like I'd be willing to bet that like Iceland doesn't really export a lot of shit. Japan probably does export a lot of shit, but still not a ton because they don't have a ton of people. So I guess what I'm getting at is like, I don't know how this is going to work in the United States because we make a lot of shit. We export a lot of shit. We import a lot, but we also do actually export a lot of shit. I don't know. Like it's weird. Like they say there's zero drop in productivity, but like I don't know how. How.
I mean, well, I believe that because because what I assume is your workload is probably expected to be the same. Now, I can't speak for everyone's job, but if you are like, again, I've never worked like corporate like this. Like I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But I guess like if say we go back to Bridgewater, where conference and events would be one of these types of jobs. Well,
right.
If you currently work 37 and a half hours and you do everything you need to do, and now you only work 32 hours, all the events, like you can't just not book events, or you can't just not make diagrams, or you can't just like not
right
do the work.
Well, I would imagine you would go from, this is whatever, but I would imagine you would go from a 37 and a half to a 30-hour work week.
Yeah, whatever.
You know what I mean?
But,
like you would go from 40 and 37 and a half to 32 and 30.
My other question, did you read or did you see about hours? Like, is it still like theoretically like 9 to 5, or are they cutting it to like 9 to 4?
No, it would,
because if you're
shorten it to 4 days. So it's 4 days, 9 to 5.
What's that math? 8, 32.
32. It's 32 hours.
Okay. So 32. Yeah. So, I mean, instead of getting your 40 and 32 or 37 and a half and 30, again, your job doesn't change. Like you don't have less expected of you.
Yeah.
You still have to do the same amount of shit. You just don't fuck off as much. That's how I'm interpreting.
Well, yeah, no, that's also part of it is like in a 40-hour work week, how much of that do you spend like dicking off? Right.
Yeah, and I would love to know how they measure productivity, because it's easy to say that you are more productive if you can complete the same workload in less time. That makes you more productive.
Right.
So so what I would then say is it's not anything magical about cutting the day out or whatever. It would just be that 40 hours is a waste.
You're cutting out.
That's all it is.
Like you're cutting around like the bullshit of like farting around, like going to your other fucking friends at work and hanging out, shooting the shit. Yeah. Doing like procrastinating. You're cutting out like all the procrastinating stuff. Because that is, you're right. If you get the same amount of stuff done in one less of a day, you are at least more productive, right? Like if your job is to produce fucking Yeti things, right? Like Yeti fucking cup things like I'm holding on YouTube. And right now you work 40 hours a week, and in your 40 hours, you create 100 of those. And they cut it down to 32 hours, and you still create 100 of those.
You become more productive.
You actually become more productive. Or if you cut it to 32 a week and you produce 80 of those in a week now, you're still the same. Like you haven't lost any productivity. like
Yeah,
you
and
still do 20 a day.
from an employer perspective too, you got to think that one, it's good because now you can pay people less because they're
Right.
not working as much. So
Yeah, that was the second part of this that I was going to bring up, is I don't know how that's going to change salaries, right?
yeah, I think for any real, actual, legitimate companies, they won't change them. Um, your PTO gets affected.
Yep.
I fucked you on that Cincinnati game, 49.
Yep. Yep. There it
Yep,
is.
I fucking
Field
cursed you.
goal, then
Field goal
touchdown.
touchdown.
Yep.
Um,
Blew the under.
yeah, so the way I look at it is if you're someone who gets like if you work 40 hours and you clock in for 40 hours or 37 and a half, and now you only have to work 32, well, now you don't get paid for fucking that difference. That's how I look at it. Now, if this is coming from Congress, they may do something about that, but not everyone's salaried. Like,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If you're an hourly employee, then that would be a problem.
no, again, if you work for like, say it's like a big global company, you work for Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon ain't cutting your pay over 8 fucking hours a week.
No.
They'll probably look at it like you are here to work a job. So you do the job. Now, if you work at, say, a customer service position where you just answer you're like a reactive position,
Yeah.
like you answer the phone calls that come in, or you answer the emails that come in. Well, if you're taking 8 hours less phone calls, then you get paid for 8 hours less. That's how I'm like seeing this.
Yeah.
Now, when I say that, it probably sounds illegal or it sounds like bullshit. But remember where these things come from. They're coming from the big companies. The politicians could give a flying fuck less what each individual person works because they don't work a real job. They don't have to. They never will.
Yeah.
They could fucking care less.
Exactly.
So it's the big companies that are pushing this idea, you would assume, because why would little companies or there's no, like, it has to be big companies driving this because that's the only people who have access to politicians to put this into place.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot of them are going to be concerned about having better productivity or creating more effective employees. But a lot of them are going to start saving a lot of money somehow, some way, somewhere.
Oh yeah, they would definitely. I would imagine they would definitely save money over this. You know what I mean? Because they could make the argument like, well, you make $25 an hour. So if you work a 40-hour work week, I don't know what that comes out to, probably like $45,000 a year or something like that, we'll just say. Now you work 32 hours a week at $25 an hour. Now you don't make $45,000 a year anymore.
Yeah. So if it's like a real legitimate company, that shouldn't be a big deal.
But yeah, your salary should stay the same. So then theoretically you get a raise. Yeah. Right? Like if you would still make $45,000 working 32 hours a week, you now don't make $25 an hour. You make whatever the different, like $30 an hour.
Yeah. But like if you're someone who sits there and operates a printing press and you're supposed to operate that printing press for 8 hours in a day, and now there's a full day that you don't work.
Yeah.
Well, now you don't get 8 hours of pay. Like,
yeah.
So there will be a trickle down. Never mind that every state's going to have to rewrite its benefits for employees.
Yeah. Yep.
Like paid family medical leave, all that shit.
Everything has to get rewritten.
Everything needs to get rewritten for well, actually, I guess technically it doesn't need to get rewritten because you just get less. So you get less paid time off, you get less sick pay, you get less of everything because I think you got 1 hour for every 40 hours worked. Like you got like 1 hour of sick time or something. It was something like that. So
something like that, yeah.
Because if you worked a 40-hour week, 50 hours of sick time. It was like something like that. I forget exactly how it read or what it was. But yeah, so now these employers will have less of that shit.
Wow.
By the way, Brashad Perryman sighting.
Yeah.
see
Holy
that?
shit. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who the fuck that was.
Tampa Bay just wins the game.
Brashad Perryman.
Yeah. Brashad Perryman won the game for Tampa Bay.
Which, if you remember, that's how he revived his career for 2 years, was in Tampa. Godwin got hurt. He jumped in and fucking went off.
Yep.
And probably stole a bunch of money from 2 other teams after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely, I think from a purely manufacturing standpoint, it can get very interesting because now if people are only working 4 days a week, obviously you can pay them less. And then you can also stagger shifts now because people would be more willing to work Wednesday to Sunday if they had, or I'm sorry, Thursday, whatever it is. What's the 4? Instead of working Monday to Thursday, right?
Saturday,
so now you would have
so Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So Tuesday to Friday.
Yeah.
Or no. What do people want? I don't know.
Or Friday to fucking whatever. Friday to Monday. So you'd be able to fill that with a Friday to Monday shift. So you would have people that work Monday to Thursday, and then you have people that work Friday to Monday, right? Like I think people would be more willing to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday if they knew that they had 3 days off after, right? Like depending on the job and what you're doing. So now this potentially opens up the door for 7-day-a-week manufacturing productivity. And I know most places, they have that already in some capacity, but this definitely opens the door to bump that up because of that. You know what I mean? Like you could have, it's like shift work, right? Like you have first shift, second shift, third shift. Well, now you have first shift might be Monday to Thursday, and second shift is Friday to Monday. Like you could do it that way too. I don't know. Things definitely get way more interesting from like just a manufacturing perspective when you shorten the work week. Because like I said, you can start to pay people less, but then you can also like cover all 7 days of the week.
I wonder if it'll go through.
I doubt it.
I do too. I think there's too much to, because I mean, we, like you and I just brought up decent points to start.
Yeah. And there's some fields
so seriously, like what
would be unaffected by this? Like police, firefighters, unaffected. I mean, not to put us in the same breath as that, but people in the fitness industry, unaffected.
Unaffected.
Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like now people in the fitness industry work 7 days a week. Like Monster Chris works 7 days a week. He doesn't get days off.
Yep.
So, it's like some people would still be unaffected by this.
I think most people would still be unaffected by this, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. I think also the United States in general has this culture thing. It's like part of our culture, right? Where it's like, oh, you got to work harder. Oh, you got to work. Oh, you can sleep when you're dead, right? Like the whole Gary V thing. Like, why do you need to sleep? If you slept for 5 hours a night instead of 8 hours a night, that's 3 more hours that you could be productive. You could do something, right? Like that whole stupid fucking mentality. Like that's ingrained in American culture. So in order to get people on board to be like, yeah, you're going to have to work less. Like the knee-jerk reaction by people would be like, what are you, fucking soft?
I don't know, dude.
Remember, the country is still run by people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Like people our age would be down for this. Like people in their 30s and 40s are super fucking progressive. They'd be like, oh yeah, you mean I can work 4 days a week and have 3 days with my family? Like I would love that. Sure, let's do it, whatever. But you would have, again, the people that are actually voting on this, the people that run the country that are, 70 fucking years old and 80 fucking years old that are been in Congress for 40, 50 years. They're still of that mindset. Like, oh, what are you, soft? Like, oh, you can't work. You know what I mean? Like that's how they look at shit. So
which is,
I don't think it's going to pass.
well, I just don't think it's going to pass. I think there's too many other questions to answer.
Yeah.
Like, again, what are you going to pay people less?
Right.
Because again, that sounds, it can't be illegal, but they got to do something. They got to figure something out, because if, someone's supposed to be working this many hours, now they're not, like, that's kind of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Then it's like, again, each state's going to have to rewrite their sick pay, family pay, maternity leave, all of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like every aspect of employee benefits is going to have to get rewritten. So like that's going to be a whole thing too. Yeah, but I mean, again, let's not pretend the state is so fucking effective that like, we're going to miss out on something. They could be doing something. No, they're not going to be doing shit.
Yeah. No.
I mean, we still can't even bet on sports in the state. So, but again, on the surface, I like it because I actually believe it's true. I think you can get more out of people in less time.
So. Yeah, I agree. I agree too. I think that's like been shown multiple times over in different ways too. Like I think,
but even people talk about it now. It's like, I know employees who work at home say they're way more productive at home. Employers don't agree, and I don't know who's right or wrong.
Right.
But we're starting to see some of that. It's like, you don't need to be traditional 9 to 5 in the office five days a week.
Yeah, you don't.
You get 2 weeks vacation. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
I bet you there are a lot of people that would say you normally make $100,000 a year and you work 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you there's people that would say, all right, pay me, what are we cutting off?
80,000.
That's 20%.
Yeah.
Cut off 10% of that, 90,000, and I'm good. I'll work less and I'll take $10,000. Like, I won't take the full 20% off, but.
Right. Yeah. I think there's plenty of people that would do that too. You work 20% less, but you only get paid 10% less.
Yeah. I think people would do that.
Yeah.
Now, again, I also pick someone that makes 100 going down to 90. That's not the same as someone who makes 50 going down to 45.
Right. Yeah. That's
because that person's probably scraping and clawing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see, like, to follow and see where it goes.
I bet it gets shot down.
Yeah, most likely. Talking about scraping and clawing, though, we get some bad news potentially. Canada is experiencing a maple syrup shortage right now, and it's not looking good. What
are the Ryan brothers going to do about their maple syrup conglomerate?
Yeah. So Canada has announced recently that they have tapped into their emergency maple syrup reserves. So first of all, I didn't even know that was a thing, right? Because that's the big thing with the United States right now and gas, because gas prices are super fucking high. And Joe Biden finally announced, after months of people being like, why don't you just tap into the strategic reserve? Why don't you just tap into the strategic reserve? And then finally he's like, we care about people and their gas prices are too high. We're going to tap into the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and we're going to.
An idea that I thought of all by myself.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely my idea.
And that's an original thought.
People haven't been telling me to do it forever, or at least the last 3 months. But So like that's a legit thing, right? Like the United States has a petroleum reserve, and it makes sense. But like the country of Canada now that we know has a maple syrup reserve. Like
Yeah, I mean, well, when it's your most important fucking export outside of Canadian hockey players,
yeah,
you gotta have a fucking supply of that shit.
yeah, it's like it's. I just think it's hilarious, right? They're like, this is like a legit thing. Like people are like upset about this. Like I didn't know. So it says in this article from Yahoo, um, Quebec, that everybody hates Quebec.
Fucking hate Quebec.
They produce almost 3/4 of the world's maple syrup. So call it 70%, right? Quebec makes 70% of all of the maple syrup that exists in the entire world. That's fucking wild.
Do you need a specific type of maple tree to pull maple syrup from it?
I didn't think so, but like now I think maybe.
So
I don't
it's
know.
like, do they just grow better in Canada? Like, why is Canada the only fucking place that's got the maple syrup?
I have no idea. In 2021, 83 million kilograms of maple syrup was produced worldwide, and 60 million kilograms of that came from Quebec's forest. That's wild. Quebec made 60 million kilograms of maple syrup this year.
You know, I just gotta like tip my hat to this. So you're giving me kilograms of a liquid.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were supposed to do that. I thought liquids were measured by volume.
Well, they just do weight because there's so fucking much of it.
Well, I did try to go to, because I was thinking, I'm like, well, where do we get it here? And I'm like, okay, Vermont.
Yeah.
2 million gallons. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck do I compare that?
Yeah.
Like, how much does 2 million gallons of syrup weigh?
A lot.
Like I thought. What is
So
this stupid
you can
thing?
do
I got it. So in gallon, actually, this is hysterical. Worldatlas.com. Top producers of maple syrup. The top 4: Quebec, Vermont, Ontario, New York. So Quebec, all those kilograms, whatever.
Yeah.
8 million gallons.
Jesus.
Vermont, 900,000. They are. What percent higher is that? That's a whole that's a whole comma.
It's over 800 times more.
That's a comma.
Because if they made 1 million and they had 8, that would be 800%. So it's like 810% or something like that.
So it's probably 100 or 1,000%. Because 100 times as much.
Yeah, it's approaching 1,000%.
And this is from 2017. Probably could have gone up. Yes. So Canada produces 71% with 90% of it coming from Quebec.
That's wild.
And Vermont really kind of doesn't do shit.
So it says maple sap is tapped directly from sugar maple trees and boiled to concentrate it into maple syrup.
Maple syrup is accounts for 90% of Vermont's sales.
Jesus Christ. What's like the next 5% is probably like flannels.
Do they sell weed? Like, is weed legal in Vermont?
3% is beer, craft beer. So what does that leave? That's put us at 98%.
Tourism's got to be like,
yeah, skiing. Oh shit, skiing's up there. So there you go. There's your 100% of like Vermont's like GDP is from like 4 things.
I mean, they don't have anything else.
No. Maple syrup, skiing, flannels, and weed. And
I don't know if weed's legal. I don't know if weed's legal in Vermont.
Yeah, I think it is.
It should be.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
If it wasn't the first place, I don't know what would. Or California was probably first, but
Yeah. Well,
guns, they like guns up there.
yeah, they're hippie
Gun hippies, that's what we
they're
call them.
gun hippies. Yeah, so hopefully, we can get this maple syrup thing figured out. It
I don't know,
says
get Vermont to fucking pull some more weight.
global sales of maple syrup jumped more than 36% this year.
People
over
like their
2020.
fucking pancakes.
Yeah, because everyone's home. Everyone's been home. So they're like, well, let's make fucking pancakes. You can't have pancakes without maple syrup. So,
Well, don't forget they took Aunt Jemima off the bottle. People didn't like that.
yeah. Well, now they're like, oh, there's no more Aunt Jemima. Now I'm going to buy maple syrup.
I'll buy
It's
the real deal.
The only reason I wasn't buying maple syrup is because it was racist.
How big do you think the province of Quebec is?
Like in a landmass area?
I wonder how it compares to Vermont.
Oh, dude, it's probably absolutely ridiculous. Like,
1.5 square kilometers. 509. Okay, so it's 1.5 square kilometers.
No.
And it's what?
That's
Quebec?
That's gotta be in like millions or thousands.
1.5 million
Kilometers
million. Squared.
You just said 1.5 kilometers. That was like,
oh,
there's no way.
1.5 kilometers squared, which is 600,000 square miles. How big's Vermont?
Tiny.
I mean, I know it's not that big. I just don't know. I literally don't know how big Quebec is.
Quebec is probably like close to fucking Texas.
9,000 square miles.
Yeah. Like if I had to guess, so the land area in square miles is 595,000. Yeah, we'll call it 600,000 square miles. Let's look up the land area of Texas. I bet you it's probably pretty fucking close. Yep, 695. So it's 700,000. Oh no, that's kilometers. Wow, Texas is significantly smaller
than Quebec.
Yes, Texas is 268,000 square miles.
Wow, so Quebec is
triple. Fucking huge.
It's almost triple Texas.
Yeah. Well, you got to think, right? Like the United States.
Well, I don't have to think anything because I barely know what fucking I don't know shit about Quebec.
But no, just like I'm not that. I'm doing common sense talk right now.
Why?
So Canada is like roughly the same size as the United States, right? And the United States is broken up into 50 different parts. Canada is broken up into 7.
7 and 3? Is it 7 and 3? Is that what they have?
Yeah. So like you take roughly the same amount of area and you have 50 parts. And I know not all 50 are obviously equal, but still there's 50 of them, or you have 7. The 7 pieces are going to be fucking huge. So
what about the Northwest Territories? I think those are pretty big.
Yeah, I think those are huge.
Yeah, because they're basically uninhabitable.
Yeah.
Can they grow trees?
Probably not. It's probably too fucking cold to grow trees.
That doesn't seem right. I see a lot of trees in cold places.
Dude, the total area of Ontario is smaller. It's 415,000 square miles. So Quebec has got to be the biggest. Quebec.
Oh, I think it's second.
600,000. Let's look at the Northwest Territory. The Northwest Territory is 519,000 square miles.
Aren't there 3 Northwest Territories? I don't know.
No, it's
anything.
None of it. None of it is 787. So almost 800,000 square miles is, I don't know how to say it. Nunavut.
Oh, I thought you were. Oh, okay. So Northwest Territories.
No, I wasn't saying like none of it. Like,
yeah, that's what I thought you were
like
saying.
None of it. Like it's actually called like Nunavut or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not Canadian, so I don't say it like Nunavut. It's none of it.
Quebec is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13 provinces in Canada.
Including the 3 uninhabitable lands.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are big fucking areas, huh?
Yeah, just
Never even thought about it.
It's massive. So
10 provinces, 3 territories.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
And Nunavut is
That's a territory.
Is the largest. It's almost 800,000 square miles. Texas was what, 200 and something?
Yep.
That's
what's our biggest state? Is
4,
it California or Texas?
Alaska.
In area.
It's Alaska.
Oh, come on. Real state.
Texas.
Okay. Don't come at me with Alaska.
Well, you asked me what the largest state was.
Yeah,
it's
real
Alaska.
state. I wanted the largest real state.
Wow, Alaska is 663,000 square miles.
So Alaska is a territory.
Yeah, it's roughly the same size as fucking
almost Quebec.
Quebec.
It's a little bigger.
Yeah.
But we don't have any frame of reference because it's like you've never fucking been there. Might as
no
well
one
be
goes
Russia.
to Alaska.
I mean, you see Russia from your back porch, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm told.
What a claim that was.
Yeah. She's still active, by the way. She
Doing
still does
what?
like political stuff.
Why?
I don't know, because people are dumb. She was fucking stupid. Speaking of more stupid stuff, there was just a new study that came out, like, or a new poll, whatever the fuck it's called. So Democrats, super woke people, right? They're trying to be like woke, right? Like they're trying to be fucking I can't think of the different word that I'm trying to think of, but they want people to call them Latinx, right? Like when it comes to Spanish people, Hispanics.
It's not Latinx.
Well, no, it is Latinx, but I think it's funny to say Latinx because it's spelled.
See, like you got to be careful though, because
Latinx.
I don't know if that's not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So
hence why I literally just go, oh, is that kind of like Latinx?
Yeah. So the uber progressives out there are like, oh, well, no, you have to call them Latinx because it's no gender. Never mind that their entire language is based off of gender, right? Like,
yeah,
it's either like it's El Gato is like, it's just a male participle or whatever the fuck it's called with the word, like, and then like La Familia, like there's no El Familia, like you know what I mean? Like it's the whole language is based off of, it's just called gender. So fucking deal with it. So people that are Latino or Latina, the progressives are like, no, you can't do that. You can't evolve gender. You have to call them Latinx, or like I like to say is Latinx. So there was a poll done by somebody. I don't know. I don't think it matters.
Oh, no shit. They did it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who did it. But well, the article is from Politico, so maybe Politico did it. So Democrats are trying to seek Latino voters in more gender neutral ways, right? They've been increasingly begun using the word Latinx, a term that first began to get traction among academics and activists on the left. So, but that very effort could be counterproductive in courting those of Latin American descent, according to a new nationwide poll of Hispanic voters. Only 2% of those polled refer to themselves as Latinx, while 68% call themselves Hispanic and 21% favored Latino or Latina to describe their ethnic background. Oh, according to a survey from the Bendixson and Amandi International, a top Democratic firm specializing in Latino outreach. So it's like you have this like Democratic firm that specializes in dealing with Hispanic people of Hispanic descent and Hispanic culture. And they're all fucking surveyed. And 2% of all the people that are surveyed that are actually Hispanic call themselves Latinx. And 68 just say Hispanic, and 21% are Latino or Latina. But that's not where it ends. The more problematic side of this for Democrats, 40% of those polled said Latinx bothers or offends them to some degree. And 30% said they would be less likely to support a politician or organization that actually uses the term.
I do love it, dude. Like,
oh man. So it literally totally backfired. Like that is the textbook definition of backfiring. They're like, we're going to be super woke. We're going to change your fucking language, right? Like that's right. That is, you want to talk about
just
like
say disrespectful. Just say
it's disrespectful. It's white knighting, right? It's like you riding in like you're the white knight, like, oh, I'm going to save everything here. I'm going to change your language from Latino or Latina to Latinx. Like you guys should be called Latinx. We're going to take out the gender for you because we know better. And literally every single Hispanic person is like, yeah, you can go fuck yourself. How about that? Because 40% actually are offended by the term that white people created to try and not offend people. Like this is again,
never mind.
It's again, white people ruining stuff.
Never mind. It's like a little bit of trying to take away their culture, not like, I don't want to sound more extreme than it is, but like, dude, their languages, I guess they probably all speak Spanish. I don't really know.
Yeah. Some version of Spanish.
But so every country probably either had, and it's funny because I was going through this with some Italian shit today. I don't know. I was fucking annoyed, but whether it's a dialect, an accent, or like a subtle whatever, they all basically kind of speak Spanish.
Yeah.
In one way or another, outside of like Brazil, speaking Portuguese.
Right.
Or whatever, any other small country that I don't give a fuck about. But like their languages are rooted in, like, if you're going to say a sentence, you're supposed to say it by gender.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I can only speak to like Italian, I don't think you can just like create new words. I don't know, like,
yeah, typically not.
or like it's usually an O or an A. Like that, like that's in Italian. It's like,
right.
Usually male is O.
Right.
Female is A.
Right.
I or E is usually plural.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like when you say, again, like I think, is it me Chiamo? My name is, I think Chiamo is like, I say mi chiamo because I'm a male. I believe a female would say mi chiama. I believe.
Yeah.
Would just, my name is, again, I could be wrong, but whatever. If I'm wrong about the specific word, the point stands. What are you supposed to say? Like if you're neither male nor, like mi chiam?
Yeah.
Now you've become Tony Soprano.
Yes. Yep.
And this is how I like went down this rabbit hole today, because I was like, I forget what I like. Again, I was just getting fucking annoyed about something. I like looked it up again. I'm like, why the fuck does everyone think they're fucking Tony Soprano? But like leaving letters off and all that shit. But
yeah.
I do love when everything backfires on them, though.
Well, it's great,
especially the woke stuff, because
like, it makes me really happy to hear that, because it's not only does only 2% of the people use the term, but it's offends. It like outright offends them that people use the term.
It 15-fold offends more people than it supports.
Yes. Yep.
Factor of 15. Pretty good
Yeah.
though. Yeah. Keep using it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Never mind. Like, what's wrong with Hispanic?
Right.
Like,
Like,
is there
why can't
something
you just
wrong?
say Hispanic?
Like, is there something wrong with Hispanic?
Not that I'm aware of, but
Because Hispanic doesn't seem to be a gendered word.
right.
Latino, Latina.
It ends in a consonant, so I don't know how we can assign genders to consonants.
Never mind. Wasn't there like a whole thing about like Latin America being like an issue because it's like there's actually nothing Latin about South or Central America, or like wasn't there a whole thing with that?
Yeah.
Is that not that important, or I don't know? Probably just
I
not
think
that big of a deal.
I think people kind of let that slide because it was dominated by Spain, and like Spanish people, although predominantly white, they get a pass from being white most often.
Because
You
they're
know what I
not
mean?
white
So like,
Americans.
yeah, so they're European, they're white Europeans, but they're like a different kind of white European, right? Because
They're
so
cultured.
in the United States, everyone shits on white people because they came over from England and killed all the Indians and took all the land, right? So everyone's like, oh, white people are so bad because they stole the land from the Indians. But nobody talks about the Spanish going to Central and Southern America and literally murdering all of them. Like all of them. They wiped out an entire civilization. You ever heard of the Mayans? Yeah. Well, if Spain never landed in fucking Mexico, they might still be here. And like it was so prolific that Spanish, the language Spanish, is now the native language of Central and Southern America. Like the native people in Peru, like they spoke like Peruvian.
Yeah,
like they didn't speak Spanish. But now people in Peru speak Spanish. People in Chile speak Spanish. Like before the Spanish people came over from Spain, they spoke whatever fucking native language was there. You know what I mean? Like that's how prolific like the Spanish takeover was of South America, but no one talks about it. No one gives Spanish people shit. No one's like, oh, fucking Spanish people, they're so fucking, oh, they're so gross and disgusting. No, everyone just shits on white people, which I don't really give a fuck.
I mean, white people do deserve it.
Yeah, white people ruin everything. But like you could make the argument what the Spanish people, what Spain did to Central and Southern America was just as bad, if not worse, than what the United Kingdom did to.
What would you say white people did to Native Americans? Because it's all white people. They all came over.
Yeah.
Because remember, if you're going to cancel Columbus, we need an Italian American Day.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's like,
remember when we had to learn about those guys like Magellan and Vespucci and whoever the fuck else?
Yep.
You never mentioned how fucking they were all just genocidal maniacs.
Amerigo. Yeah, they literally sailed around the world and like killed people and like took the land.
Like basically for sport.
Like they took the land for their country, but like legitimately took the land.
Yeah.
They killed anybody they found and planted like an Italian flag in the ground or a Spanish flag in the ground and was like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, this belongs to the King of Spain now. So fuck you guys.
And then America came along and saved the day.
Yeah. Well, we're named after that guy, Amerigo. The America is named after
I think it's Vespucci. Vespucci.
Was it Amerigo Vespucci?
I think so.
Yeah.
It sounds right.
I think so. It does. It sounds right. Yeah.
I think it was Ferdinand Magellan, Amerigo Vespucci.
Yep.
Christopher Columbus.
Yep. There was another one.
That might do it. I mean, there were a bunch of them. Obviously, there was some Spanish guy.
Yeah. How would I find that? People that
Just do
sailed
famous
the world.
explorers.
Oh yeah.
Keep it simple.
Famous explorers. Let's see. The greatest explorers of all time. Oh fuck. Oh dude, Marco Polo. How did we not know that one? The guy's got a whole fucking game named after him.
Yeah, real complicated game, or real effective thing they got there.
Yeah. Oh, Hernan Cortez.
Yeah,
That's
he
the
was a
guy.
good guy, right?
Yeah, that's the Spanish conquistador that went in and absolutely fucked up South America. Absolutely decimated the Mayan fucking culture.
he's just misunderstood, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's Spanish, man. It's just the Spanish fire. It's like Sevi.
Yeah. And it was Amerigo Vespucci. He was the guy. You know what's funny? I thought about this. Oh, Ponce de Leon. He's the guy that allegedly found the Fountain of Youth. Leif Erikson, obviously.
Obviously, I mean, but
he was the first one. So you know what's funny? I thought about this the other day. This is totally random, but you know how people always talk about like they shit on Columbus and the Pilgrims and even Hernan Cortez. So like the Europeans that came over to the Americas, and they always say they brought smallpox, right? They're like, oh yeah, they brought smallpox and they gave the smallpox to all the natives of the Americas. And like, I thought about that. Like, I think about that sometimes when people talk about it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is even going on? Like, how does that even happen? Right. So when did I just fucking no, I didn't close the page. All right. So Hernan Cortez lived from 1485 to 1547. Columbus was 1451 to 1506. So we'll call it like roughly around 1500, right? When did the smallpox vaccine? So the smallpox vaccine was invented in 1796. So my thing is, everyone says like these Europeans brought smallpox with them and like gave them to the natives in America. Well, were the Europeans like immune to it? Like how, like, did they also die of smallpox too? But no one talks about that.
They
like,
might have.
No one talks about the part that like smallpox also killed the Europeans as well. I mean,
what was life expectancy back then? 31?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, they probably all died.
But but still, because there was no vaccine for smallpox. So, but this is the part that always gets left out of the story, and it's everything that confuses me. Because they're like, oh yeah, Columbus came over, because it used to be they get like
the blankets.
People gave them blankets, right? They're like, oh yeah, the blankets were infested with smallpox, and it's like that. First of all, that makes zero fucking sense, right? Like you don't just like there's no labs. Like it's not 2021 where we have a Wuhan lab of smallpox. Like where we're doing this, it's just a virus that exists. Like it doesn't like live in this fucking blanket that we give to these people and kill them off on purpose. But this is what I mean. If people were here in the 1500s from Europe and they gave smallpox to the natives, then they also had smallpox themselves and they died. So everybody was, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
I'm just so like the Bunsen burner wasn't invented until like the 1850s. I'm not buying that some dude is just like sitting there with fucking concentrated smallpox and like putting it on blankets.
No,
actually, although they probably just found someone with smallpox and wrapped him in a blanket and then took the blanket and probably gave it to the natives.
I don't even think that. I don't think that happened. I think the blankets with smallpox is a farce. I think it's made up. I think it's fake news.
Well, we're gonna have to ask someone from back in the 1400s.
Yeah, but like, am I the only person that's ever thought about that too? Where
No,
it's
I
like,
just don't care.
well,
I
these
mean, if it
Europeans had
wasn't,
to have
dude,
died.
if it wasn't smallpox, it was gonna be fucking just murder. So
But then,
they were gonna get it one way or the other.
so if they didn't, right? So let's say the Europeans just magically didn't get smallpox, but the natives got them from somehow. Well, does that mean that Europeans were immune to smallpox before there was a vaccine?
Well, I guess could you make the argument, like, you know how like chicken pox really doesn't kill anybody,
Right.
but we all get it?
Yeah.
I assume that that was some type of genetic or biological change because I'm sure it used to kill a lot of people.
Yeah, probably at some point.
So perhaps you could maybe, now you don't have to believe it, and I could be wrong, but just putting the differing opinion out there is if smallpox was around in Europe long enough due to something specific to Europe, it killed a ton of people at first. Over time, it started to kill less people, less people, less people.
Oh, that sounds really familiar.
And then it like kind of wasn't that bad. Like, yeah, it probably still killed people, but it wasn't too bad. And then you introduce it to a population that's never seen it before, and then it fucking kills all of them and just starts the cycle over again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would get that. That makes sense.
That could be it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, smallpox could date back to like the thousands.
Yeah.
And that's almost 500 years of smallpox exposure.
Right. Right.
And the Native Americans had zero, potentially.
Yeah. So then theoretically, some Europeans would have been immune to smallpox without the vaccine.
Yeah. Or through, is it evolution or genetic or biogenetics or something that over time, whether it's I don't know if it's an immunity, but it's just like a resistance to its effects in a way. Like it just doesn't affect you.
Yeah. Which is immunity. That's a form of immunity. As far as I know, unless the CDC changed the definition again.
I don't know.
They tend to do that a lot more frequently these days.
Yeah, I mean, like, so the way I think of immunity is you can't get it. Like, so, I don't know. I don't even know what vaccines we were supposed to get when we were kids. But like, okay, so the dog, he gets a rabies vaccine.
Yeah.
So theoretically, because he has the rabies vaccine, he is immune to getting rabies because he can't get it.
Right.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
That would be immunity. If there was something in dogs that over time made them incapable of getting sick from rabies, but they could still get it. Because like with chickenpox, we still get chickenpox. It just doesn't kill us.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be something. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure it out.
you can't even use the word immunity anymore. So
no. Imagine that.
Aaron Rodgers ruined it for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been immunized.
Which I like. The funniest part too is, and it's like I hate Ben Volen. Like he is such a fucking pussy writing for the Globe.
Oh yeah.
But even Aaron Rodgers broke him because with Antonio Brown turning in the fake vaccine card and getting suspended, people like, well, what happened to Aaron Rodgers? Like even Ben Volen goes, no, he just lied to the media. He was very truthful with the NFL and his team. He will not be getting suspended.
Yeah.
But I know it goes up his ass sideways because he's such a fucking pussy.
Right. Right. That is true. Aaron Rodgers never like turned in a fake vaccine card.
He also never told the team or the NFL that he had been vaccinated. He just told the media that he had been immunized.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been immunized too. I have immunity now. But, depending on who you talk to, well, you should still get the vaccine anyway. Yeah.
Okay. We got a lot of catching up to do, dude. Like you're going to need 4 shots pretty soon and you got 0. So
yeah. The CEO of Pfizer just came out and said we can get the 4th shot, which I didn't know we let CEOs of private companies make public health policy these days. But I guess really anything goes at this point when your president has fucking dementia.
We gave our health guidance to politicians and CEOs about 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. They're like, oh yeah, we should listen to the politicians, see what they have to say. All right, cool. Because we've had guys like Brett Weinstein that are literally they're evolutionary biologists.
Why are we listening to him?
Yeah.
What state does he represent?
None.
I see. That's a problem.
Yeah. Therein lies the rub. You want to start wrapping this up?
We can wrap this up. Let me pull up my my final thought. I have a link. Got a link today.
Oh boy.
So this was like 4 days ago. The Prime Minister of Finland, Sanna Marin. I don't know how that's actually pronounced.
Yeah.
Apologized for going clubbing after coming into close contact with a COVID-19 case. So her foreign minister tested positive, and she went out in Helsinki like Saturday morning. So she's actually only 36 years old too, but she looks fucking young.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. I know the story. It's hilarious.
What ended up happening was she came in close contact with someone and was told she didn't have to quarantine or isolate or anything. So she took that advice and went out, did her thing, and was out clubbing in Helsinki until 4 a.m. And this is their fucking prime minister.
It's their prime minister.
Phenomenal.
Who's 36 also,
yes.
which is great. It's hilarious.
Which, again, credit to her.
Yeah.
So she goes out, leaves her work phone at home. And while she was out, someone had texted her saying, hey, you do have to isolate. So obviously she never saw that.
Right.
Because again, she was at the Butcher's Club until 4 a.m., which great name. Yeah. And I just want to, so that's what happened, whatever. So she apologized. No, again, it's really no big deal. Like, she was told she didn't have to isolate, so she didn't. And then while she was out, someone told her that she did, but she didn't have her work phone because I presume she wasn't at work.
Right.
Which any of you who work a job, if any of you think this woman's a bad person too, and any of you work a job, I hope you have your work phone on you 24/7. And I hope you answer it every time someone fucking calls or texts. and you don't say, fuck it, I'll deal with it in the morning.
Yeah.
So I just want to put it out there. Now, again, I really don't care about this at all. Like, it's irresponsible. No, it's fucking not. She didn't think she had to isolate, whatever.
Right.
Imagine the person running your country is 36 years old and can be found at a club in your nation's capital at 4 a.m.
Yep.
They just fucking do it differently in Finland, I think. Probably a fucking ice bar or something too, drinking fucking vodka that was made probably right there.
Yeah, probably there.
I feel like everyone
fucking a fjord. They use the water distilled from the fucking fjord, like down the street.
And I would just like to think, man, wouldn't that be fucking kind of cool? Now, I don't know what type of country Finland is. I don't know if it's a good place to be a resident of. I don't know if it's a shit show. I really have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
But I would like to think that at least at some point, it wouldn't be the world's worst thing ever to see a politician that was just like almost like a regular person.
Wouldn't that be something?
It would be fucking weird. But instead, it's just old white guy after old white guy, just parade them fucking through the door. And if they're on one team, you have to hate them or you have to love them at all costs. And it's like, it's just such a fucking joke.
Yep.
I think it would be awesome to see one of the, and then like Dan Crenshaw with his fucking eye patch, like fucking down on his cheek, like stumbling out of a fucking bar in Houston. Like, wouldn't that be awesome to see?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
But nope, we can't have that here because politicians are role models or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
Hopefully people aren't saying that.
Oh God, I fucking hope not.
People probably think Biden's a role model.
Oh, they definitely do.
fucking sickening, but
yeah. Fuck, man. I'm trying to find this. I can't find it. There it is. All right. Can I find the thing? I'm looking for my final thought right now. I thought I had it on Instagram, but it's not here. So I have to Google it real quick. So I'm going to try and talk and Google at the same time. So my
talking
final,
what?
yeah. Oh yeah, DDG. So here we go. Switzerland. Just authorized a suicide pod that you can use to kill yourself.
What?
So the way it works is it's like this little capsule pod thing that you climb in. And the way it works is it pumps in nitrogen. So
so you just suffocate?
It changes. Well, no, it's the well, yes, but no. So it reduces the amount of oxygen in the air and replaces it with nitrogen. So what happens is your blood oxygen levels drop, and you end up just getting like really tired and going to sleep, and then you die. So it is suffocation, but it's not like gasping for air because there's no carbon dioxide involved.
Okay.
So your body doesn't really have a mechanism to measure nitrogen in the blood, but it does have mechanisms to measure oxygen and carbon dioxide. So that feeling of like suffocation is actually because your carbon dioxide levels are increasing and your oxygen levels are decreasing. So by just pumping in nitrogen instead, it's like I said, you just get tired and you go to sleep and then you just fucking die. So it happens over the course of 30 seconds, I think. Nitrogen fills the device, quickly bringing oxygen down from 21% to only 1% in about 30 seconds. A disoriented and euphoric feeling then follows before they eventually lose consciousness. Death takes place due to hypoxia, which is low oxygen in the body tissues, and followed by critical oxygen and carbon dioxide deprivation. So there's no panic. There's no choking feeling. They say the machine can be towed anywhere. So inside of the machine, there's like this big screen. So you can like choose like the scenery that you want to watch, like as you're fucking dying. And like you can choose whatever music you want to have and all this shit. And like, I don't know what happens afterwards to the body. Like once you die, like, I don't know if they bury it in the pod or they like kick you out of the pod. And like,
I would say, is there just like an ejector, like a hatch?
Yeah. Is it a reusable pod or is it a one-time use? Like, do you climb in and be like, how many people have died in this pod already? Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm ready to do this, but not if it's used.
Yeah. I want a fresh, clean one. So they say too, like they bring it to like random locations, and you have to go through like a whole series of like tests and questions to make sure that you're like a good candidate to fucking kill yourself. So then what they
imagine being on that interview team. Like that's your fucking full-time 32-hour a week job.
Yeah.
You like your job is to determine good candidates for suicide.
Yep. So then once you pass the tests, they text you like a random location to like go and get the thing, because they can't just like leave it in places, because obviously like there's a lot of fucking liability issues involved with that. And then you just go in and you fucking hit the on button, and I think you're gone probably within 90 seconds. Like if it drops the oxygen from 21% to 1% in 30 seconds, I can't imagine you last much longer than that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe 90 seconds tops. So good for Switzerland, I guess.
So we're gonna not call these street legal, right?
I think they're kind of, I think they're semi-legal. It gets, so the title of the article is "The Controversial Suicide Pod That, quote, kills peacefully, gets the go-ahead in Switzerland."
Okay, so
So it could be
someone's allowing
used
it.
in Switzerland as early as next year. So
Okay.
I don't know. Apparently, suicide. Apparently, Switzerland has different laws and takes on assisted suicide than we do in this country. But
Yeah, because I mean, suicide is illegal here.
yeah, I don't hate it though. Like as far as like the assisted suicide stuff goes, like I'm not against it. Especially for people that get like a terminal diagnosis, right? Like if someone gets stage 4 lung cancer and the doctor's like, yeah, you got like 4 to 6 months to live, I would get in the fucking pod. Like you're telling me I can spend the next 6 months in pain or try, like that's the thing, like if you get a terminal diagnosis, like I don't know why I would even fucking bother with like chemo and radiation and all that shit, because that just sounds miserable. But like play the game, right? Like you can go through all that stuff, you can be miserable, you can be sick all the time and then end up dying anyway, or you can get in this fucking pod and you can watch, I don't know, the sunset over fucking Pebble Beach and listen to fucking Tiger winning some like the 2008 like PGA championship or whatever the fuck it was. Like, or you can listen to fucking people playing the flute. You know, you can listen to whatever you want and just lay in this pod and then just die. Like I would totally go for that over some bullshit fucking sickness.
Yeah, so I don't know enough about all the different assisted suicide things, but there's obviously gonna be reasons where or when it's like, where it's suitable.
Yeah.
So I mean, as long as it's a fucking process, I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like, you pull up to a fucking car and you give him $150 and he opens the door. Like,
yeah.
I don't think that, because I don't think it shouldn't be, as long as it's not easy, which it doesn't sound like it is. It sounds like it's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, like I think assisted suicide should be legal. Like I think people should
Yeah,
have the
just
choice.
again, it should be a fucking process so that if someone really wants to go through with it, they like have to,
Yeah.
they got to really, really want to go through with it. Like it's got to be calculated. It's got to be like approved, all that shit. Because there's got to be cases out there where you can sit there and again, like, someone who gets whatever type of cancer where they were like really suffering.
Yeah.
And they don't want to fucking do it anymore.
Right.
But yeah, again, it can't just be like, oh, you know what? I'm having a bad day. I think I'm gonna go see the pod.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like
That
or like Alzheimer's, dementia, or like ALS, right? Like that's fucking shitty, dude. Like if you get, like if God forbid, like if I ever ended up getting ALS, like I'd be like, no, nope, not happening. Like I'm not gonna turn into a fucking vegetable. Like you're gonna take me out back and you're gonna give me the old yeller.
yeah,
Like I'm not doing that.
You've been a good dog yeller.
Like I'm not gonna turn into a fucking Stephen Hawking where like you can't fucking move. You know, like that's, and then, because then what's your quality of life at that point?
Exactly. That's
You
what
know
it
what I
comes
mean?
down to. And I know
And
not everyone will agree with that, and that's fine. I don't really give a fuck. But
right, but it's my own
like when you're
personal
like when
opinion.
your quality of life is trash,
Yeah,
why?
put me in the pod.
Yeah.
Put me in the pod.
But again, it's like it's but it better be like you better be willing to go through the like if you're like, my quality of life sucks, put me in the pod. It's like, all right, we got to fill out this paperwork. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Then you don't get in the fucking pod.
exactly. Like there needs to be some sort of like barrier to entry.
Yeah. Well, it's like adopting a kid. It's like you don't just decide like, you know what?
Yeah.
I would like one kid, please. It's not like you go to the kid shelter.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking dog.
Right.
It's a fucking process, and
Yeah.
it's super expensive.
Well, yeah.
Then even then, when you're like, we don't want to adopt a kid, and they're like, all right, well, we got a kid here.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh fuck. Do we want
Shit.
that one?
What do we do now?
Yeah.
What does this thing eat?
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit easier. It's just kibble.
Yeah, just keep it dry food. Keep it simple.
And if they puke after the kibble, then they probably have an allergy to that specific kibble.
Yeah. What would you want to watch? Like what would be on your screen
How long do I have
in this pod? Let's call it 90 seconds.
I got 90 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could probably watch a 90-second recap of the 2013 BCS National Championship game. Kelvin Benjamin catches the ball just as you lose consciousness. I could probably do that. 2019 Masters was pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, or
the
like
Falcon Super Bowl was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. What music would you have?
And I only get 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Woof. I don't even know.
I would probably go with some like Enya shit, like something weird. You know what I mean? Like that, like calm, like soothing, or like Trevor Hall. Because you only get 90, so you're not getting a full song.
Yeah.
You're only getting 90 seconds.
I think I would pick my favorite 90 seconds of Cemetery Gates.
Yeah. But like, I wouldn't do something that's going to get me like amped up. Like, I'm not going to play like Eye of the Tiger. Like, imagine that, like you're in this fucking suicide pod and the fucking nitrogen's going up and you're listening to Eye of the Tiger. It's like, dude, no.
It's 90 seconds, dude.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, what's the point?
I don't know. I like the fucking song.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to the Star Spangled Banner.
I got to take my hat off first. Hold on. Wait, I can't stand up in the pod.
Now you're disrespecting the troops.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those weird things that I thought about.
No,
like, what would you watch and what would you listen to?
Things you enjoy. That's it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do anything too fucking sad.
No.
That would be the worst thing you could do.
Right? Like you're about to die and just be fucking sad. Like, no, like I want to watch something cool. Like, I want to watch something like that's going to be like, oh, wow.
I'll just watch the Badgers on repeat for 90 seconons.
With the music too. Badger. You just get so mad you fucking punch a hole through the glass. All the nitrogen leaks out and then you just don't die.
Is there like a dial where you could like maybe let more nitrogen in a little bit quicker?
Yeah. Yeah. Can we speed up this process?
Yeah. It's going too slow.
Yeah.
I'm about to see the snake for the 4th time.
So yeah, that was my final thought. I just thought it was interesting. I heard about it the other day. Thought it would be weird. And
it is weird, but
cool for Switzerland, I guess, for coming up with this thing. So that's going to do it for us. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment below. Subscribe wherever you're listening. If you're an audio only listener, if you use iTunes, go over to the Apple's. If you use Apple Podcasts, go to the iTunes store. I always fuck that up. We've done like 330 fucking episodes, and I still can't get it right. Go to the iTunes store.
No.
And
is it? Oh yeah. No, so,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Right. Now I'm fucking it up. Now I'm fucking it up because you fuck it up.
It's dumb. If you use Apple Podcasts, go to the iTunes store, leave us 5 stars and a review. Tell everybody you know about the show. Spread the word. We've got some listeners now in Arkansas, like we talked about before.
Oh, let's go.
And we're down in Florida, Indiana. There was another state out there. I mean, we've been in California and Texas before in the past too, but I don't know. There was another random state, Idaho, maybe someone in Idaho. I don't know.
If you're from Idaho and you're still listening, come on. I have questions about Idaho.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. If you're listening and you're like, hey, I've always wanted to be on a podcast, let us know. We'll get you on. We don't care. This is this is a show for the people, by the people, and of the people, I think is the third one. So you're more than welcome. Come on. I want to know more about you and why you listen to the show.
I just have questions about Idaho.
Yeah.
Like if you live in Arkansas, you probably don't want to come on because we're going to ask you a lot of fucking offensive questions to Arkansas and the South in general.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to come on, you can get us on Instagram. Shoot us a DM at Sarcasm Speaks Pod over there, or on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks, or you go to our Facebook page. Sarcasm Speaks Podcast, I think, is over there. I looked at it the other day. It's actually Sarcasm Speaks Podcast. I don't think it really matters, but yeah, if you're listening and you want to come on, shoot us a message, a DM. Slide in those DMs. We'll get you on. We'll send you the Zoom link and we'll get you good to go. Thanks to mybookie.com. Use a promo code SarcasmPod over there to double your first deposit up to $1,000. Also, thank you to grillyourassoff.com. Same promo code over there, SarcasmPod, gets you 15% off your entire order every time you check out. So go to grillyourassoff.com, use a promo code SarcasmPod. Again, 15% off. So until next time, good night.